Hi Pisces. So, have you survived this solar eclipse, new moon in Scorpio? Personally, I know that for 2 days it was a very deep internal process. A lot of symptoms you could have experienced, like headaches, nausea, a lot of upgrades that we've been having. It's like shifting into the truth of who we are, and really truly releasing parts of us that were really blocking us, that were all those negative patterns that we had accumulated until now. And I have felt a definite shift. You could have felt waves of depression, a lot of darkness, but if you've been able to feel it, knowing that it's passing, that it's not who you are, you could have woken up today and been full of drive, full of feeling more free than ever, with a lot of fire, intention, drive to action. So as we're heading now towards this Taurus lunar eclipse on the 8th of November, which is going to be changes, shifts that are more external than internal, like we've just experienced. Just nurture this simplicity, this quietness within you amidst the storm, amidst the chaos, amidst whatever is going to be changing around you, or not changing, but shifts could be happening. And just not be afraid of it. Just know that it's happening because of the alignment that you've gone through right now. So it's actually very positive. So let's not expect something terrible or, difficult. That would be us judging again, right? Our experience. Here on your spread today, I see a lot of purity. You could have experienced such dread that you could have truly ascended to a calm that is beyond you, knowing that whatever you go through, whatever you are going to be going through the next 2 months, the end of 2022, is preparing you, is working on you. And so you might have found more grace, more stillness, more flow in your own being, physically, because it is physical. It's light that you let up here when the mind stops. You will feel, instead of thoughts, you will start feeling vibrations. You could start feeling a true light, physical light, rising through you and truly enlightening you, in the sense that you find this emptiness, this spaciousness, and at the same time this fullness of presence, this feminine grace, divine feminine. And you'll see we have it here as an archetype. So truly this card, flow, release control, that's a huge thing with Scorpio. Release control, divine will, oceanic consciousness. You might have found how the illusion that you had of being able to control anything in your life, or any plans that you've had about what you should do or not do, any expectations, letting it all go and trusting. We are at the point of trust where, you cannot control another person, you cannot control your own life. So that's this true surrender in that moment where you're like, okay, I will also feel through everything that I'm feeling, but still take action, do what I need to, just do things, move your body. You could feel huge sadness that was prominent. Scorpio's water is deep water, but this sadness is coming through because it needs to be felt. If you reject it because it's painful, you judge it as painful, then you can't progress. It will always come back. But if you have the courage in this moment, once and for all, to feel it, but still not drown in it, but still do things, you will see that it starts to pass. And maybe see that laughing and crying are at the root the same. That if you can face with no bull who you are, and be no bull with other people as well, be authentic, truly, you will find that perhaps laughing and crying are just emotional expressions, but they're superficial. Deeply inside, there's just one source, and it's space. There's no waves of emotions. It could be what we can call bliss, because it's a serene tranquility where you just move and do, and that stillness. So in that relaxation, embrace stillness. Like I've said in other readings, there's no separation. You go through everything you have to go through in action from that source. You are that source. And actually you do more and better and more efficiently everything. You get new insights. You're more creative. So you could feel a lot of fire coming through, perhaps from a huge depression, feeling very powerful. Use your power here. And all this comes from engaging trust, Pisces. Engaging trust and beyond you, knowing that there is a plan that perhaps you're not aware of. And this is bringing you abundance, fullness of source, this fullness, enough for all, open. You become just open, literally. That would be the meaning of all that was said here, open. Meaning you're not contracted, you're not limiting, you're open, relaxed, physically, and then mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Cities of light, Telos, Adama, inner earth, etheric retreats, family of light. Like I said also, we're getting into Halloween, and so you could have vivid dreams, insights, lucid dreaming, downloads. And that's us connecting with our family of light, with beings of light. Don't be afraid of that. Then you got two very pure children here. You got crystal child and the blue ray being. Your natural core, pure, innocent, removing falsehood, the seer. And that's all Scorpio. Removing all falsehood of who you've been acting, who you've been trying to be. There's no trying to be anything. We just are. At that purest essence of our being. Direct divine expression, direct. Bridge between dimensions. Yes. We are perhaps astral traveling. We are connecting. There is definitely dialogue with higher beings here. Or higher consciousness. This could also be a dialogue with someone in particular. Communication. Venus is very prominent, so it has to do with relationships. But the more you are you, with humility, and accept whoever is, close to you, with all of their, perhaps darknesses, knowing that it is not you, and you have no interference to have, because who are you to interfere in somebody else's life? Who are you to judge anybody else? Maybe you just let it be here. Open contact. There is definitely open contact here. And in that way, this innocence, this purity that we are entering in is reconnecting us with our natural humility. This humbleness, where, again, who are we to judge anyone? You could have also renewed hope. As you let go of all of those patterns, there's so much space that is infinite possibilities that come. And we did actually have here the Seven of Cups. I have a few tarot cards here. Seven of Cups that came through with this Magician. You can manifest whatever you would like. Coming again to this purity, we have the Virgin archetype and the Angel. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, the Virgin. Now, this doesn't mean that we should be afraid of, escape intimacy or union with another being. This could be the negative side of the Virgin, the wanting to escape the reality of a relationship. But by confronting our emotions, confronting the relationship in a humble way, and us maintaining this purity of heart and spirit, this is the Ace of Cups. This is unconditional love, is true love. So whatever will happen will have to do with that. So there's no fear to have. Now the Angel, to help the people that are in need, without hoping anything back, right? So that's very important, because you can be the light in someone else's world, and if it's someone very close to you, perhaps you are expecting love from them back. Sometimes it's very subconscious. Perhaps you're telling yourself, no, I don't need it. But we have to look deeper and really look at that. We want to make sure that also we're not playing a role of the Angel, love and light, and all of this kind of superficial way of being. Here we're confronting, we have the courage to get into the battlefield of looking at truly who we are. And there's a lot of darkness in every single one of us. We need to make sure that we don't push away what feels dark in us just by, I'm just love and light. No. From that calm, knowing that you're not that, you can look at it, you can feel it, but you need to feel it, right? And those aspects that could be, darker came also here. You have the destructor and the one who is addicted, right? Addiction. That's also very prominent with Scorpio. You have this for the destruction archetype is talking about letting go of everything that potentially is destructive. Preparing for a new life. That definitely feels like what is happening, what has happened. Here, you also, sorry, third chakra. This also could have been the case if you've been having upgrades, your throat chakra and like the headaches, the third eye, the crown, could have been experiencing kind of like, you could have symptoms of flu or stuff like that, but that's just you upgrading, your body upgrading. But this is confronting all of those addictive behaviors. And addictive behaviors could be anything, codependency, drugs, alcohol, whichever, emotional dependency, sexual dependency, all of those things, all toxic behaviors. It could be being addicted to social media, being addicted to being social, being with friends all the time, and really looking at why are we dependent on those things. Becoming independent, free of all those things. And then finally in those archetypes, you got the lawyer. This inspires you to put into practice your compassion. And that's where we get into this, where we talked about this relationship, for example, for those who resonates. It could be any relationships. It could be multiple, one, the family, friends, intimate, twin flame, soulmate, karmic, whichever. This is being able to put into practice. It's not about just finding compassion, this calm within you, and then when you are in the situation, lashing out, right? There is this practice that needs to happen, the reality of all of this. You becoming the mentor. Number 7 is very significant here. And so perhaps you're becoming the mentor, but remember, the mentor doesn't interfere. It just lives. It's a presence, right? It lives the light. It radiates the light, but it doesn't force, right? Anyone or anything, okay? And you will see by letting space to the other, perhaps them starting to awaken or to rise up to your frequency. Yeah, you got be free. Do what you love. Be you. Simply. You know, Taurus also, we're heading into this full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse, but it has to do with simplicity also, with tranquility, with connection to the earth, grounding. And, you know, this bull that came through really reminded me of this Taurus energy. You know, from the complexity of the emotions and all of that, getting it to the surface, you know, from the subconscious, getting into the, okay, materially, what am I putting out there? What am I putting into practice? Be free. Do what you love. Now, I have a few cards of Rumi that are beautiful here. I will show them to you. You got the hand of Fatima. That has to do with protection. So, she says, I can never leave you. You are my everything. Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, brings you the gift of protection. Discern who you involved yourself with and how you use your time and energy. Give yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people and situations you say yes or no to in your life. Very important. You have drawn the hand of Fatima. Trust in her. Now, you got let love transform. The sea becomes filled with pure pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. Love's genius and generosity are not bound by the mind. All manner of miraculous grace works through love in endless creative ways. Variety. Your heart's yearning shall manifest itself naturally, right? Do not attempt to predict how that can be. The mind wants to see and know everything logically. No, right now, just let it be. Why would we seek to limit love's creative genius? Instead, trust that it will be magnificent and kind. Kind, right? We have this very soft energy here, Pisces. And calling to this divine feminine, you have divine mother manifests, the underlying. Oh, you living in the world of 6 directions, accept the gloom and accept the bliss, right? Those two. We saw laughing and crying, right? For those seeds buried in the ground that we've been through, the Scorpio energy, will one day grow into fruitful orchards. That to me feels very much this axis of Scorpio going into Taurus, like we just talked about, from this subconscious, deep stuff, you know, inside, getting out. You know, once it's healed, how do we manifest outwardly? So it's very symbolic of this eclipse season we're going through right now. The mind would have us believe, the mind again, that certainty is necessary for inner peace. Inner peace doesn't come from understanding, but from trusting. So this whole, you know, flow, oceanic consciousness, peace, tranquility, doesn't need to understand. It's a state. Can we understand a star? Perhaps not. Yet we can choose to trust in its beauty and light, and nonetheless derive energy, hope, and inspiration from it. Let the relief of trust fill your heart. Okay. And so just to finish, I'll show you the few tarot cards that came through. The first one was Page of Pentacles. And that feels exactly like what we are starting. This new project, this new venture, this is earth energy, Taurus. What is this new pentacle you're bringing to life? You know, this eclipse season is going to have an effect of 6 months. So it's very important what we're going through right now, the intentions we're putting out, and the healing we're going through, the acceptance, the surrender, and the trust we're putting out there for this manifestation. And for that, we need to get out of the burden, 10 of Wands, of the 5 of Cups, which is the burden, the emotional negativity, regrets, living in the past. We need to let go of that so we don't miss the opportunity. You have the 4 of Swords here. There were 3 swords, that's the 3 of Swords, right? That is pain, heartache, past traumatic experience when it comes to emotional situations. And seeing that sword from the divine and taking that sword, leaving the 3 of Swords behind. How do you do that? High Priestess, Pisces, that's you. Number 2, balance. Your secret world, your intuition, your internal world, getting into the psychic eye, getting beyond all of those emotions to space. When you're able to do that, you're able to get to that purity of manifestation, of the essence of who you are. Okay, Pisces? So, I hope this was helpful. I love you, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.